I didn't schedule this live, and people are supposed to be coming to check my AC. Y'all know how it is when they have like a really large window. So I'm hoping that they don't come until the back end of the window. So that way I can live stream for a good like 2.5 hours on here. But I didn't schedule this live stream. So if you didn't get a notification, that's why, because it wasn't scheduled. But I hope everyone's having a good morning. Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and also like the live stream. That would be appreciated. And then also, please don't forget, I have my spiritual channel, which is Queen the Mystic, that I'm on more regularly. Also, I have my Patreon where I talk a lot about like dark femininity, if you are into any type of S work, because if you're new here, I actually danced in a club for 4 years, but that was 8 years ago. But I do like to still help the ladies in S work to be able to get their money up. And also, not only that, but just like give like tactics in general that can like be transferable for you to be able to like get your money up, understand the artist seduction manipulation. That's all over on the Patreon. And then also, if you're into self-pleasure toys, I also have a brand deal with the brand Womanizer. You can use the code AFF-Queen, and that'll get you some money off if you want to go on ahead and get yourself pleasure on. And all of that is in my bio, in the description, in the link tree. Okay. So good morning to everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I don't have a book club. Not yet. Not yet. But I'm going to be doing one. Trust me. I'm just trying to, honestly, I'm just trying to relax a little bit. Honestly, I'm trying to relax a little bit. This week's busy for me. Like they got to fix the AC. I moved my chiropractic appointments up higher. Like I have a couple people to, like talk to and things like that. So it's just a busy week for me. So next week is probably when I'll hit the ground running with like, you know, doing like more things with like the Patreon and things like that. It's just nice to be in a predicament where I don't have to clock in, but it's very hard clocking. It's very, very hard because you have to have a mindset shift, because you then have to clock in for yourself. But like it takes a much higher level of discipline. But I'm so much happier that I'm not clocking in there and that I'm not like having to deal with that. I feel a lot better. So thank you for asking. I really appreciate that. And yeah, there's actually believe it or not, so there's actually a girl who goes to my pole dance studio, and she actually used to be a nurse, and her personality is kind of like mine when it comes to work. I'm real nice. I'm real nice until you mess with me, and then it's gonna catch you off guard once you really realize like, oh, she's not a pushover. Like, yes, she's nice until you give her a reason to not be nice anymore. And so she was kind of having like the same issues that I was having, except in nursing. And so, could you believe that she actually quit being a nurse and she moved, and she ended up becoming a stripper? She literally ended up becoming a stripper instead. But her and a few other girls that actually like they strip outside of going to pole fitness classes, they said that it's like really slow. I couldn't imagine dancing right now. I couldn't imagine dancing right now because ooh, 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 ooh. Um, yeah, like because I went to a club last winter, and like me and the girl that I went with, we were spending the most money. All right, we were spending the most money. Yeah, I can imagine being a dancer. These men are really stingy. Really, really stingy. But yeah, as far as the medical field, it's just, and the thing about it is that because so many people are leaving the medical field, the exploitation is just gonna make more people leave, which means that they further have to exploit the people that are staying in the medical field, which is going to bring you to a higher level of burnout, because I mean, healthcare is a business. You know what I'm saying? So, I still like ultrasound. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could do like a cute little PRN and work like 1 to 2 days out of the week. I wouldn't mind a cute little PRN, but I'm never going back full time. Never going back full time. Um, but yeah, sorry, I kind of veered off and didn't really start with the subject. Sorry about that. All right, let's go back. Let's get back on topic. All right, so I want to talk about what we're talking today with men being for recreational use only. We're pretty much told that, you have to find one person and it's this one special person. And then once you find that one special person, you have to hold on to them for dear life because Lord knows you're never going to find another person like this again. Um, and what happens is that usually puts women in toxic relationships, toxic marriages. And I feel as though that increases your chances of different forms of abuse, different forms of manipulation, and just you being exhausted. And for most of my life, I've kind of just had this mindset when it's come to men where if it ain't fun, I don't want none. And I feel as though that's like the best way that you should approach dealing with men. Like, if it ain't fun, I don't want none. Like, I don't take pride in struggling. I don't take pride in telling these, I don't know, stories of overcoming struggle, overcoming a rough patch. Like, you'll hear people that are married and they're like, oh, yeah, we had a 10-year rough patch. And after 10 years he finally got himself together and he finally quit cheating and he finally got a stable income. He finally stopped being an alcoholic. And there is no finally. Like, there's never going to be a finally in my vocabulary because I'm not going to stick around long enough to see the finally. And you shouldn't either. Because guess what? Men don't think like that. Okay, the way men look at it, they have all the options in the world. And even if they don't like actually leave you, they kind of look at it like, well, I can't get everything from her. So I'll just find a woman that can fill in the gaps of like what it is that my current girlfriend or wife, whoever, isn't giving me. And essentially, I feel as though women should do the same thing. When it's not fun anymore, I think you should leave. When the money runs out, you should leave. When the mistreatment starts, you should leave. When the disrespect starts, you should leave. Whenever there's a change in energy, whenever there's a shift in energy, the first thing that women like to do is they like to question themselves. And like, you start having all these things putting the blame on yourself. Like, he's different, he's not complimenting me, he's not like spending as much money on me, like what's wrong with me? And it's like, that shouldn't even be a question in your brain. Like, it should not be a question in your brain. It should be like, oh, he's different, that has nothing to do with me, I'm gonna bounce out of here. Like, I'm not even gonna question anything, I'm just gonna get out of here. Okay, because once you like plant that seed in your head that it's you and that you're the cause of their change behavior, that's when you're going to stick around. And then that's when you start trying to find solutions. Men are never trying to find solutions to problems. They call themselves problem solvers, but really men's idea of problem solving is just them trying to figure out a way how they can do what it is that they want to do while not getting caught. That's problem solving to men. As a woman, when you get in the mindset of, oh, I see a problem and I need to fix it, that means you've been in the relationship for too long. You shouldn't have to be in a predicament where you're solving problems and it's something that's really weighing on you. It's something that's questioning your worth, making you feel insecure, just making you be in like a lower state than what you normally would be in. That's how you know that the relationships just went on for way too long and it's just time to cut your losses and move on to somebody else. Okay, because I think we like to take responsibility for everything that men do, and it's like, no, like him acting different, if you're not doing anything different, and if you are doing something different and it's not hurting the other person, but it's making you feel better, and then he's shifting because of that, well, that means that there is no problem to fix. That's his problem. He's the one that has a problem. If you're changing something and it's beneficial for you and it's not harming him in any way, and he's shifting his energy and his attention because of that, well, then that's his problem. It's not your problem. So what would be the purpose of you trying to correct that when he's the person that has the problem? Like, oh well, let these people have their problems then. There's a high level of empathy from women, and that becomes really dangerous, and that becomes very sacrificial, and it becomes draining because men don't tend to appreciate your empathy. Men don't tend to look at you having empathy as an opportunity for them to change. They just look at it as an opportunity for them to keep doing what they've been doing. Like, men don't have that mindset of like, oh, she gave me another chance, so I'm going to use this as a chance for me to do better. I'm going to use this as a chance to do right. This really is just a chance for them to say that they're going to change while their behavior stays the same. Honestly, that's really what it comes down to. And that's why you have to use a lot of discernment about like where men belong in your life. Because me personally, I mean, do I hate men? No, I'm just very indifferent in where I'm at in my life. Like, I don't see a need for them that is practical in my day-to-day life. There's really no practicality for them to be there. Like, anything that they're needed for, because men a lot of times like to say, oh, um who's going to fix your tire, or like the person that's going to fix the AC. Okay, it's going to be a man, but guess what, it's a fucking job that he's working. Like, he's getting paid, he's literally getting paid to work a job. Like, that's his job. I don't need to be with a man so that way somebody can fix my tire or fix my AC or like do some manly job. I'll just use money and I'll just pay the person to do it. Because I mean, do they come enabled with a toolkit inside of them where they know how to fix everything? Hell no. A lot of the times they're faking that they're trying to know how to fix something. Men don't even read the directions to assembling something. And you mean to tell me that I need to have a boyfriend in my life or a husband in my life for somebody to fix something? Like, no. And honestly, that's the reason why I don't want to. That's one reason why I don't want to own a home, because I've seen it in my own family. Like, especially as you get older, too, a lot of these like men that work in these fields, they just take advantage. They take advantage, they hike up the price. Like, I know exactly what's wrong with my AC. I know exactly what's wrong with my AC because I was able to jimmy it myself to get it to work. And then I was able to jimmy it back to get it to not work and then get it to work again. So I know what's wrong with my AC. So there is no, I mean, I don't have to pay for any of this stuff anyway. So I'm not going to have to pay for it. So it doesn't matter. But, either way, like the person that does have to fit the bill for what's wrong with the AC, like, I'm not going to let that person try to con them out of saying like, oh yeah, you're going to have to get a whole new like unit or whatever. Cause the thing about it is that it's a condo that I live in. And so, when you live in a condo, like the unit or whatever, it's usually like a contracted company that will cover like your AC unit, and that's who they will send out. So, um, yeah, that's who they'll send out. And I looked up the reviews on this company, and like the reviews don't look all that good, because when they're contracted, it's probably like a flat fee. So yeah, a lot of men try to overcharge women, or like they won't complete the job. Like that's what happened. Like that happened to my grandmother. That happened to my grandmother, and it wasn't even some fucking rando. It was actually somebody that we knew. I don't want to own anything because I don't want to be stuck somewhere. Just a personal opinion. I just don't. I've traveled for work the past 4 years, and like, I'm just not a person that sees myself staying in a place for 15 years, 30 years. Like, that's just not been me. But to the people that want to own, love that for you, but I'm just not one of those people. Um, but yeah. Yeah, it's just that's I don't want to own anything because I like having freedom. I do. I like having freedom. And to me, being tied to something for 15 to 30 years for me personally is just not freedom. It's not. I just don't want to, because I wander so much, I don't want to have to like, because I thought long and hard about it. I don't want to think about hiring a property manager at this place, this place, this place, this place. Yeah, and I don't wanna rely on my dad either, because my dad has all of that stuff, like, my dad has, like, a ton of, like, rental properties and stuff like that. I don't wanna put the burden on him to get investment properties back in my hometown because, like, my dad's not gonna be here forever, and I don't wanna take on the burden, like, I'm lazy, okay? Like, I don't give a fuck, like, call it what you want, I'm lazy. I wanna if I wanna own something, I mean, I own a business, and I would wanna own something where I could, like, actively be a part of it for the community, like, that would help the community. I don't wanna own something just for me to say I own it, I guess. But I think more and more people that are around my age are starting to think like that. Like, I think especially millennials. Um, Millennials are realizing, like, the way we see it is a scam to own things. Like, there's a girl who, well, I used to work with her, but she worked at a different location. She regrets buying her condo because she's like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. And the stress of having to like find someone that's gonna, like, get in the condo already, finding someone that's going to buy it, like, doing all that. She's like, that's more things that I have to think about, and my plate's already full, and, like, she regrets even getting her condo because she in her head, she thought that she was just gonna stay there forever. Um, but yeah, in my opinion, I think, and I think in the world that we're in now, especially if you live in the United States, um, probably the smartest people don't own anything right now because if this place keeps going the way that it's going, it's going to make it a lot harder for you to have the ability to leave. Um, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. That's what I say. Home ownership is slavery in disguise. I agree. And the thing about it is that, like, even boomers, like, boomers can't even take their home and sell it because, like, who's gonna buy your $400,000 home that we know is really valued at like $100,000, $150,000? Who's Yes, I was gonna say the base rate for mortgage deals with death. Yep, exactly. When you denote the word mortgage, it's like it stands for like death trap. Because that means you got to keep working. That means you got to keep working. You got to keep on working. And then you have to also hope that whatever investments that you have, people can stay employed to pay for the properties that you have. So then your reliance has to be on other people. And yeah, I don't know if you looked at the economy, but yeah, there's like a high reliance. So I don't know. That's just my mindset, but maybe I'm the crazy one. Some will say I'm crazy. But anyway, um Yeah, back to recreational use, okay? I feel like the longer that you have this mindset that you're supposed to be with one person, it's going to be easier for someone to extract more things from you, like your unpaid labor, like your cooking, your cleaning, your child rearing. um that's going to make it easier for someone to extract from you the longer that you stay. If I feel like somebody is draining me in any way or trying to extract energy from me in any way, I'm not staying. um I'm just too sensitive energetically, and I just can't. I think that's also what has saved me from being in really um screwed up, like screwed up relationships, is because my tolerance is really low. Like, I'm lazy in a sense. Like, I feel like this, like, you should have discernment on what you want to be. Everybody is lazy in a certain sector of their life, and you kind of have to be. You have to be lazy in certain sectors in your life. I don't want to work my relationship muscle. I don't want to work my relationship muscle. That's just something that I don't value enough to want to have my energy be poured into, because it's something that just easily drains me. Um Arguments drain me, disagreements drain me. It's just like, okay, I don't really feel like putting up with all of that stuff. So I just am like, yeah, it's fine. We don't have to, because that's why I ended my last relationship. He was shocked too. His jaw was on the floor. He didn't really see it coming, because in his brain, he was having like a trust issue. And then he was also having a financial issue. And he wanted time for him to figure out his financial issue. But then what he was telling me on how he was going to fix his financial issue, I couldn't trust him. I couldn't trust him based off of his logic. But then he was having trust issues with me. And so he like wanted time for all these things. And I said, I don't have time to give you. I just broke up with him. And then we'll sit here and be like, that's so mean of you. How dare you do that? Okay, oh well. Oh well. It's just I don't have the patience. All right. I don't have the patience for you to figure that stuff out. And I cannot wait until I get out of this place and get into a new place where I can have animals, because yeah, I'm getting me some cats. Okay. I'm getting me some kitties. I'm getting me some kitties. So beginning of the year, I'll definitely have some cats. And on top of that, if I, really do want to jump ship and get the heck out of this country, cats are a little bit easier to take with you. And I've had dogs, I love dogs, but cats are just cats are just more independent. Dogs are forever toddlers. I've never had, like, an issue with, like, the smell of cats. You would only you would only have that issue if your cat was, like, spraying, and usually that's, like, behavioral. But the way they've created these kitty litters and these litter boxes and stuff like that, you don't even have to worry about that. Yeah, as long as you have good kitty litter, exactly, and they have state of the art stuff now for it to have, like, no smell. So, dogs stink. I could smell a person and know they have a dog. I'd rather have a cat than a human around. Come to France. I don't know about France, child. I don't know. I don't know about France. I actually took French in school, in high school. And what's also very interesting is that when I lived in Chicago, a lot of people moved from France to Chicago. So I actually have like dated quite a few French men, and I wasn't a fan. but isn't a cat I think we are naturally nurturers, but isn't a cat an attachment? Um, I mean, I guess. But yeah, I would actually have a lot of Frenchmen I would actually have a lot of Frenchmen, try to talk to me when I had lived in Chicago because we actually would get a lot of people from French. Oh, nice. She said in Germany, they're fully welcoming nurses and healthcare professional who speak good English. Two of my friends from the Philippines have work visas provided for them. Ooh, and gets paid in euros. Nice. Yeah, because I had Cocker Spaniels, and if they have yeast infections in their ears, because like their ears are all coily, so when it gets warm, they get a lot of yeast, and so that can obviously be smelly. Um, but the thing about it is that like people would tell me all the time, like they would hear that Cocker Spaniels stunk, but whenever I had people over, they said that my dog never smelled. So either they were lying or either I did a good job at keeping him clean. But yeah. Yeah, the I you have to stay so on top. And then I also would make sure that they would have like I try to keep them away from like wheat. Like I try to make sure they would have like a grain wheat free diet to keep that yeast down because yeah. How do you feel about natural born women being called cis? So curious to know your thoughts. Um, I really have no feels about it only because I mean, we have so many different sectors now of like we don't live in a world where it's just gender, it's your gender identity. And so to separate that from like your gender, they like have to come up with all of these terms to differentiate that from your gender identity. So, I mean, honestly, I'm indifferent. I don't really have a whole lot of thoughts about it. I'm indifferent and I don't care if people I don't really care if people transition. It's just people's intentions, you know. People is yeah, I don't know. It's just people's intentions. So in my head it's just kind of like whatever. I'm honestly indifferent to most things simply because I live in the world with other people and we have to be respectful to other people and like these terms are a way for us to be respectful. So I kind of am just like, hey, because when I didn't, like one time I accidentally gendered someone and they did not they were very upset. They were very, very upset. I asked because his gender clearly was a man, but he identified as a woman. And I mean, I accidentally used the wrong gender and he was really angry purely by mistake. Um, but of course I apologized, but I guess that was kind of a lesson for me that I'm like, oh wow. Okay, another thing too, I feel like another reason why it's just easier to have men have the mindset that men are for recreational use only is also for the fact that a lot of men, I mean, when you're dealing with a man, okay, not a man that like has so much estrogen that he's thinking that he's the prize. He's looking for princess treatment. He's looking for you to open up the door and give him a piggyback ride. Not those, not those. You can't even call those men. Not that group, not that subgroup, but like the subgroup of men that they actually take pride in being men. I know it's a small subgroup, Usually men that take pride in being men, they don't want to be the center of your life. Like for me, I think it gives me the ick when a man wants to be the center of my life. It gives me the ick when a man would want me he would ever want me to drop what I'm doing or not have hobbies or not be passionate and just not have my own life. And that should always give you the ick too. Um, a man should be okay with him being like a pastime in your life and not your entire purpose. A lot of the time, men that want to feel like men, they when you center them, they're gonna feel annoyed. Like they're gonna be really, really annoyed. This is why men really don't like it when women are like heavy on them emotionally because it feels like they're being smothered. And so men that kind of have their own lives and they have their own purpose, they want you to have your own life and purpose too because they don't want to feel bothered constantly. They don't want to feel burdened constantly. And so, from my experience, when you kind of just treat them like, they're fun, like they're kind of just like flavor of the week, they chase a lot harder because it's like you're reminding them that you don't need them. And so, instead of them trying to put the work on you, the workload on you, because the thing about it is that men that are like deeply insecure, and men that are in that subgroup that I mentioned earlier, if they see that you don't need them, they will try to create artificial situations in which you do need them. So, like, them saying like, "Oh, well, you don't have to go to work," because they want you to depend on them financially. "Oh, you don't have to worry about this. Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Like, I'll take care of that for you," which on the surface is fine, but if their intention is to do that because they want to have it so that you're centering them in their life, well, I mean, the action is good, but the intention is not. Um, Whereas if a man sees that you don't like really need him, he's gonna try to work harder to kind of like be like, okay, you want to know what? I do kind of want to like have more time or kind of make myself more available. Like they're the ones that are going to be doing the work to kind of like get into your life and like be a part of your life more as opposed to them just being like, no, like I have to take things from you in order for me to be a part of your life. Like, no. So this is why it's always important to like have a life. I'm real big on women getting a life. I feel like before if you're trying to entertain dating and you're still trying to entertain men, which there's nothing wrong with that. Just because I'm not doing it doesn't mean I'm gonna judge anyone that is. I get it, especially for girls that are younger. Um, you're not wrong for wanting the dating experience. I don't think that that's a crime, especially when we grow up with media and we grow up in a society that, you know, is telling you about, you're hearing about dating, you're seeing it in movies, you know what I mean? I think it's just a natural thing to want. Um, but I feel like it's very important for you to be booked, busy, and unbothered because men should always have something to compete with. When you don't have a life, that means that they don't have anything to compete with. You not having a roster of dating, okay, now they don't have other men to compete with, so now you don't you don't have another person that can kind of highlight his inadequacies because that's the only person that you have. If you have a life and you have passions and hobbies and things that you're interested in and you get good joy and great joy out of doing those things, well, if it's time for you to like get ready and hang out with this guy and you're over here thinking like, I enjoy reading. I'd rather be reading, instead of getting ready for this date. I'd rather be volunteering instead of going out with this date. Okay, well, that will signal and let you know that like this guy ain't it. If you rather be doing the things that you're passionate about as opposed to wanting to spend time with this guy, then this guy ain't it. You know what I mean? He's lost the competition, amongst the things that you value and like you wanting to date, essentially, if that makes sense, right? Another thing too is, the exchange of energy, okay? The exchange of energy that you have. Um there are things in life that are a requirement, they're a necessity, and I think Cher had said it in an interview, um where, she was asked about, like, her, like, getting married and, like, getting a rich man, and she's like, "No, like, I'm the rich man." And she was like, "I don't have anything against men. Men are cool, but, like, you don't really need them. Like, they're really not all that important." And so, like, I'm not a big purse person. Like, a lot of the times I just go out without having a purse, but, like, I do have, like, some nice, like, high-end purses or whatever. And so I just look at men like purses. Like, if I wanna have my purse, like, I'll wear my purse, and, like, sometimes I want a big purse, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I do wanna have, like, a man, kinda be around, like, a little bit more often, but sometimes I might want a smaller purse. They may not take up as much space, and when I don't wanna have a purse anymore, I just, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like men are the same as all the things that you cannot enjoy in excess, like sugar, alcohol, any of those things in excess are not good for you. That's how I look at men. Like, men are like candy, you know? Um, so yeah. And then another thing too is that you're going to increase your chances of getting hurt the longer that you stay with a man. It's just science. It's just dating science. The longer that you stay with one man, the more you increase your chances of getting hurt. And it's kind of like what I said earlier. Like, recreation isn't the same as responsibility. Okay. Like, if you have a guy and, like, you just have fun weekends with this guy, um, you just go out on, like, cute dates with this guy or whatever, like, that's not somebody that you're gonna try to, like, turn into a boyfriend or look deeper into. Like, that's how I kind of looked at dating apps, for the most part. I don't think I ever got on a dating app for the most part and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna find my husband on the dating app. I'm gonna find my next relationship on the dating app." Like, no, it was just strictly to, like, have a roster. Or maybe I was just coming out of a relationship. I was new. A lot of time I would just use the apps because I was new in town. And so I kind of wanted to know about, like, the cool spots that I could go to, like, try some new food places, like, just get a feel for the area through dates. That's typically why I would use them. Because when you're looking and you're thinking long term, for women have more of an investment mindset emotionally when they're thinking long term with men, which is why as a woman, that's why it's very important for you to extract money, because that's men's investment. Men know that they run the highest risk when they invest with their money. Women run the highest risk when they start investing with their time and their energy. So I always think it's just important for you to view dealing with men as an experience. Like, this is just the experience that I'm having with so and so. You know what I mean? Just take the man's name and add experience. Okay. So um I'm trying to think of a name to use. Like, for instance, you're out here and you're dating Michael, okay? You have to think, every time you text Michael or you hang out with Michael, you tell yourself, "I'm getting the Michael experience," okay? Anytime that you're talking to Marcus, "I'm getting the Marcus experience," okay? It just makes it more fun. Okay, it makes it more fun, and it just kinda activates something in your brain where you don't take things as serious because 'cause you're like, "It's just an experience." Like, and if I don't like the experience, like, I could just get off this ride. You know what I mean? I could just get off this ride if I don't like it anymore. Um, literally broke it off with a guy named Michael last night. I'm hollering. Oh, also, anybody that sends donations to Cash App, let me say thank you. Because I've been live streaming more and I need to make more of a habit of like whenever people do donate on Cash App, that I like shout you guys out. I really, really appreciate it. Because my Cash App is down below because people will ask me. And I've been completely neglectful of like mentioning that people have been doing that and acknowledging them. So anyone that donates to the Cash App, I really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. So told him we should just be friends. Yes. I haven't dated women. No, I haven't. Homosocial, homo means same and social means group. So you are communal within the group that you share like the same, in this case, gender with. So men are very homosocial, very, very homosocial, because their conditioning socially grooms them to be homosocial. Um because men are taught to like other men. Men are essentially taught to be gay. Especially now, men are being taught to be more and more gay. Men are taught to build their aesthetic more and more for the male gaze as opposed to the female gaze. Men are bonding over like their disdain and their hatred of women. So naturally, over time, that's gonna kind of make you like the same gender because you're bonding over talking about how you don't like the other gender. So um and men are always looking for approval from other men, which further makes them homosocial. Like men don't pick women typically to like court. They don't typically pick a woman based off of their preference. They pick the woman based off of the preference of most men. So in their brain, they're thinking, okay, this is usually the standard that most men have. So that's going to be the person that I decide to marry. Men tend to not like men, depending on what sector that they're trying to fill, okay? That's who they're going to pick to have a relationship with, which is why women get confused when they get cheated on, and they get cheated on with someone that's completely different than them, because the woman that they cheated on you with is so different from you because she is not somebody that fits the mold of what would publicly be accepted by society. But usually that's his preference. Typically, a man's preference is not who he's going to marry. Okay. This is why they have such a strong disdain for like the IG baddies, women who get BBLs, women who wear weaves and makeup and stuff like that. Because essentially they just easier for them to it's easier for them to not have to deal with the lack of approval that they'll get from those women publicly. And it's just easier for them to get somebody that's a little bit more plain, just a little bit more widely acceptable. Vanilla. I'm just going to say vanilla. Because it's all a performance, really. Men are just performing all the time. That's why their ego is so fragile. Do you even get tired of talking about men, not trying to be funny, just genuinely curious? It's not so much that I get tired of talking about men. I think what I get tired of talking about most is like the same repetitive things because women don't want to believe you the first time. I think it's easy to get tired of that. It's usually not talking about men. It's usually just beating a dead horse with the stuff that you're already saying. Because the thing about it is that men are always doing something to talk about, like that David and Celeste situation. Like, men are always doing something to get talked about. So how can you not talk about them? Like, as soon as you think that, oh, I'm not going to talk about men, like they constantly are doing something in order to be talked about. Like, if you're not familiar with like the whole David and Celeste situation, I guess essentially David is like this D-star musician that essentially got popular because he would make like Fortnite like gaming compilations, and then once they started copywriting like the music and stuff, he no longer could use the music. So then he started creating his own music to put over the Fortnite compilations, and it blew up on TikTok, and people really liked his music. And so that ended up turning into like him getting reached out to by record labels and things like that. So in like a small sector, I guess he's pretty popular. Well, he had been dating this girl, because I don't remember how old this David guy is. I honestly don't remember. All I know is that he was dealing with a girl who was like 14 at the time. And I think this guy is in like his mid 20s. I want to say like maybe 26, 27. And he was dealing with a 14-year-old. Well, her body was found like dismembered in a vehicle that was like licensed under David's name. It was licensed under David's name. So I think technically, I think technically she would have been 15 when they found the body. But okay. So yeah, because I knew it was like, it was a long span of time when they were dating before her body was like found. Um, yeah. So yeah, and so that's like been big, like on not on the news, but that's been really big on like social media. So like, we wouldn't talk about men if men didn't do things to be talked about. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is that you have to talk about men in order to kind of protect yourself from them. So I don't get tired of talking about them. I just get tired of, okay, David is 20 and Celeste was 14. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the women. It's just the women that get annoying, because it's like you tell them what it is and then they don't want to believe you, and then they want to try to come up with like in their brain all these different ways that you can like remedy like these things from not happening, but there is no way to remedy it from not happening. And yeah, rest in peace to her. Um, Another thing too was the family situation. Um, the family situation was interesting because like the family definitely knew about the large like age gap, and the fact that she was dealing with someone this older. Um, and yeah, it doesn't sound like the family tried to stop anything. So yeah, I saw that girl's video on my For You page. Yeah, she did, because she did say that the any like, from what I've learned, and I watch like a lot of true crime and things like that. Anytime men are into anything dark, okay, so if they're into like um gore horror movies, if they're into very like hard alternative music, if they are into any type of like, BDSM, when they're into anything really, really dark, in my opinion, you kind of have a higher chance of like there being like something violent or something predatory, something dangerous, because a lot of the time what men fantasize or what men embrace when it comes to like dark things, they're gonna more frequently want to act those things out. So I am kind of big on judging men based off of what they are into. Now, that's not to say that, a man saying that he likes like softer things or romantic things or things that aren't dark, that's not to say that you're going to be any more safe. Um, I just feel as though when they express having these certain type of hobbies, it's kind of a hint. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little bit more of a hint to let you know um, where that man's mind is. And if you watch a lot of true crime, I like true crime because it's really good for your pattern recognition because most criminals they have a pattern. And a lot of the times whenever things that like kind of happen to that Celeste girl, there's a lot of foreshadowing in their interests and in their hobbies and in their mindset that it's really no surprise that they would have done the things, that they did. Because men know this is why men are popularizing asking women things such as like, what's your body count? How many baby daddies do you have? Because men understand that past behavior is a reflection of the future. Women don't want to believe that. Women think that the past was in the past and you don't have to repeat your past. And although that's true, you can't bet on that. Especially when it comes to men, it's not safe to bet on that. Like it seems like the right thing to do because women want to give people a chance. Women want to be forgiving. Women really want to be nice. It's not worth being nice. A lot of the time, being nice and trusting as a woman, it'll cost you your life. So you have to be a little bit judgmental. Yeah, and he made a song called Romantic Homicide. It was the name. Yeah, that's what I think the lyric I think that was the lyrics in that song Romantic Homicide where he said that. Like I said, there's always foreshadowing. There's always foreshadowing when these things happen. This is the reason why like the whole joking thing when people commit acts of crimes and they have friends and they talk to the friends, a lot of times the friends will say like, oh yeah, so and so would always joke about how they were joking about how they were going to unalive this person and how they wanted this person to be gone and stuff like that. It's like a very common thing for it to be spoken about before they do it. That's the reason why yeah, I don't play about stuff like that. I don't play about stuff like that. Oh, that's crazy. They would delete females to not be captured, but then they found graves for multiple years. They systematically replaced all the women with slaves. That is insane. That is insane. So, yeah, it can be, yeah, I feel like it's worth it to be judgmental because men are judging women. Men are judging women, and the thing about it is that men aren't even judging women based off of their safety. They're judging women based off of the benefits that they can have. Like men, they're not even thinking in most cases. They're not even thinking about their safety as an issue when it comes to women. But being a woman, you have to think about that. And the thing about it is that men will take that negatively. Like men really do feel offended when women kind of have this generalization of men kind of having like this mindset of like, yeah, like, they can be a little off putting, they could be a little creepy, they could be a little dangerous, and men get really offended by that. But then if they have a daughter What are they going to tell their daughter? Oh, don't dress like that. Don't wear that. Don't hang out late. Don't talk to strangers. I highly doubt a woman is the person that they're thinking of that they're actively trying to protect their daughter or their sister or their mother from. No, they're thinking of a man. It's just their ego. It hurts their ego that men do all of these things and that they have to be looked at that way. But it's like, you know that too. Like, as a man, you know that too, or else you wouldn't be so cognizant of the people that surround you. You would be so cognizant over their proximity to men and how they portray themselves to men and how men would perceive them. So it's like, you know that. My God, that's terrible, Keystar. That's horrible. So, so terrible. Yeah, this is why a long time ago um they just would keep men and women separate, and men just only had to do their one role, which was to help procreate, and follow women's orders of what they needed to protect. Um because men are protectors at the authority of women. Men are not protectors by their own will. They've just flipped it. Men are only good for one thing, and sometimes they're not even good at that. Listen, they want you to be they want you to be they want you to be in a relationship with them, making it last forever, and they can't even make it last in the bedroom. They want you to give them chance after chance after chance in a relationship, and it's like, but you're done in 2 minutes, but you're done 2 minutes in the bedroom. What, like, come on, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Makes no sense. Oh, another reason why I think it's real good to kind of have that mindset and believing that men are for recreational use only is that when you really sit down and you think about it, um men cost you a lot more than they provide. Like, when you really sit down and think about it, the emotional labor. Okay, you have the emotional labor of like his complaints, but men are not emotional. So you have your own emotions as a woman, plus the emotions being dumped onto you by the man, and then you cannot go to that man to help you work through your emotions effectively, which is why he's dumping his emotions onto you in the first place, because he knows that he is not capable of working through his own emotions effectively. That's why he's dumping them on you. So now you have to do the emotional labor of two people, and then the physical labor, the cooking, the cleaning, the nurturing. Once again, you're not going to have an ROI on that. And then it's 2025. Women are the breadwinners. Women are the breadwinners financially and domestically. And then the men are still saying that they want submission. Like, they want you to go 50-50 and then still listen to them. Like, no. Like, no. Unless they're for recreational use, they're always going to be a liability. Unless you keep them in the box of whatever you're getting out of them, whether it be, money or, restaurants, um, connections, anything like that. You got to keep them where they are. Keep them exactly there, because it's going to cost you. It is going to cost you. Like, it makes no sense. She said, thank goodness I'm bisexual. I feel bad for the straight women too. I do. I feel bad for the straight women. I don't know what I am. It changes every day. It does. It changes every day. So I don't even know. It changes every day. I've been trying to gather up some Reddit stories. I've been trying to gather up some Reddit stories because I really do want to since I have time, I I'm gonna like kind of add more content buckets, you know what I mean? So that way, it's like different things or whatever. So I do think that I'm gonna add, like, I found a Reddit story about a girl in a relationship. And mind you, these people are young. They're like 24 and 26. And this girl found out that her boyfriend's been sleeping with a man. Um, and but yet like he's been posing as straight, and like she's been entertaining the idea of like this just being like a one-off thing. And I kind of really want to cover that because it's the comment. It was the top commenter that like it made it like pretty good. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do some Reddit stuff. I'm open to being the Dora to your Explorer. Y'all are funny. I don't even have the time. I had that one crush on that girl who I worked with, and that faded fast. She's too immature. Cute girl, too immature, too young for me. There's a whole subreddit called Are the Straight Women Okay? Let me add that. Let me add that subreddit. And I'm pissed because I feel as though, like, the way that my algorithm is on Reddit, I keep getting stories for the opposite end. So I keep getting all of these stories about like wives doing stuff. Like, obviously, I don't care about that. You know, I support women's rights and wrongs usually. I don't have a type, honestly. I don't. I don't have a type. This is how I like this, in my opinion, like, men, like, even with men having a quote unquote type, men's lust is too insatiable for them to have a type for real. They just try to use it. They just try to say that they have a type to like feel more powerful. Men's type is whatever society tells them that their wife should look like or girlfriend should look like, or that like puts them in closer proximity for them to like feel better like about like their self-esteem or whatever. Yeah, so that's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, because it's just like, I don't know, I feel as though that's why I don't have a type, because like if someone is like beautiful, then like they're just beautiful. Like, if someone is just pretty or beautiful, like they just are, a person could still look good if they're a little bit like thicker or skinny or whatever race. Like if someone is attractive, like they're just attractive. Yeah, once your brain develops, once your brain develops as a woman, you're just like, ew, men. Ew, gross. I don't know, my high school sweetheart married a girl that could have been my twin. And that's the thing too. That's another thing. It's whoever makes an impression on them first. Like I feel as though men have a blueprint. Men have a blueprint in their mind of like someone that they liked or that they were like really, really attracted to. And for some men, they can't like see past that, you know what I mean? Because like I think it was the producer Timbaland, like I think he said that like he purposely married someone that looked just like Aaliyah because he really liked Aaliyah. Like he thought she was really pretty. And like Jason Momoa, like his girlfriend looks very similar to Lisa Bonet. There are some men that are like that. Once they have a blueprint of like someone that they're attracted to, that's like the person that they want to keep dating. Like it's so funny. There is this one guy that pops up on my for you page. He does look like one of my exes. He does like one of my exes, but he is like an even more attractive version of one of my exes. And I like caught myself looking at his page and I'm like, yeah, like I actually he looks like one of my exes. So yeah, like he actually to me, he actually is attractive. But I'm not gonna date somebody and like get in a relationship with somebody just strictly because they look like how the person looks. Like you could still think that somebody's attractive because if they look like somebody that you thought that was attractive, that would be normal. But to have a full-on relationship and marriage just strictly because like that's just but very male coded. Very male coded. Very, very male coded because that's really all that men care about is just looks because men are only thinking with the bottom appendage anyway. So otherwise. Jason Momoa isn't even really all that attractive. It's just that Jason Momoa, he has a lot of facial hair and his body is like, somewhat in shape, but like when men's facial structure can't stand alone, when men's facial structure can't stand alone without having a crap ton of facial hair, it's like, because Jason Momoa without any facial hair is just not, to me, he's not all that attractive. I don't want to get married. I get sick of people too. I get sick of people too easily. How did you feel after realizing how men really are? Like when you realized we were brainwashed to look for love in men. I knew it at such a young age. It wasn't like a heartbreak of mine. Like I never really had the goal of marriage. I never had the goal of having children because I just already knew men were how they were. And I worked in a strip club and I worked in a strip club young. So I already knew that they were that way. So for me, it didn't hurt my feelings to to know that stuff. Oh yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Honestly, I feel like Aaliyah got lucky. I mean, it probably will sound kind of dark in a demented way, but honestly, I feel as though she kind of got lucky to not have to live out long enough to suffer in the music industry because yeah, she was in the industry for like she was in it for so long, like to start so young, she was actually in it pretty long. And to have to be exploited and to have to be around the people that she was being around, like Lord knows what else would have happened to her. Like Lord knows like what toll that would have taken on her. What do you think about the statistic of 80% of women between 15 to 13 aren't looking to date currently? It's a reflection of the market when it comes to men. Like men try to paint this picture as if women are completely just we have a great disdain for good things. We have a great disdain for good men. That's how men try to frame it in their head. Men have it in their brain like there are all these good men out here and women just don't want to deal with good men. And it's like, no, no, the level of delusion that you would have to be living in to tell yourself such a thing. No, women like good, high quality things. People in general typically don't walk away from good things. Like, that's why marriage is not that's why divorce is typically not initiated by men. If men hated marriage so much they would be leaving. No, they get a lot of perks and they get a lot of benefits. So women choosing to not date is 100% reflective of what's out there. Women don't want what's out there because it's not worth anything. It's dangerous, it's draining. Did I mention dangerous? Like, it's just not no one wants what they're trying to sell. She said Lenny Kravitz, yes. Jason Momoa, no. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like Lenny Kravitz looks great. Jason Momoa, I wasn't even attracted to him when he was younger because he actually did a decent amount of acting when he was younger. I didn't think he was attractive then. Yeah, that's what I say too. When men say good men, exactly, they're fully admitting to the fact that there's bad men. And you'll have men go as far as to say that there's no such thing as good men. This is why men say that women's standards are so high. When women are listing their standards, they're typically on average, they want someone that can sustain themselves. Okay. They have a level of empathy and they're just a kind-hearted person. I mean, you know what I mean? And they're responsible. Like if I had to just name it in four broad things, that's what women are looking for. And men are actively telling women that your standards are too high. You're asking for you to want basic human decency. You're asking for too much. I mean, they're already telling you that that's just not who they are. And when they say that they want commitment, what they're really saying is they want commitment from you. They want you to be committed to them. They want you to take a handcuff and handcuff yourself to them. That's what they mean when they say I want commitment. No, they want you to be committed. Everything that men say that they want It's like it's like a fraction of the truth of what they're actually saying. Men don't want to commit. They want you to commit to them. They want you to be so obsessed with them. They want you to be they want you to put them at the center of their universe that you don't care about anything else. That's why you have to look at them for recreational use. There is a lady in my YouTube sector, 50-year-old conservative black woman planning to marry 71-year-old white man. Is she getting her dream or is he getting a nurse? Unless that man has her in the will and he has an insurance policy through the roof and he is able to provide and she don't have to worry about a thing. He got enough money where he can hire his own in-care services, his own in-care nurse and all that stuff. She's getting the dream. Anything other than that, she's going to be a nurse. I read When God Was a Woman by Merlin Stone. I've read it. Really good book. If a man can't afford to pay for his own caretaker and he's in old age and he is asking to court you, he's asking to marry you, he wants you to be his nurse. If he cannot afford to outsource that stuff on his own, he 100% wants to marry you. So that way you can do it. Oh God, she actually is a nurse, I think. Ciao. I'm glad I'm doing this live stream because these like the window that they have for these people to come fix this stuff is so freaking big. It's like a 5-hour window gap. And I hate it. Like, what do you mean it has to be a 5-hour gap for you to like come see something? Like, oh my God, drive me nuts. Today's the day that I wish I actually was like working like at work because then I could just tell I could just tell the person like, hey, like you're gonna have to come here instead. What percent of men would you say lack empathy? Child, like 95%. Like a very, 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 very large. A really easy way for you to know if a man lacks empathy or not is for you to say something like, I wish I could go running at night. I wish I could go running at night. Um, I wish I could feel safe like traveling alone. And if he looks at you and he says, you can go running late at night. What are you talking about? And you're like, no, I can't. Yeah, you can. Why can't you? He has no empathy. He has no empathy. Shit like that shouldn't have to be explained to you. Some of them you won't have to get there if you're just silent enough. They'll actually think about it and be like, oh. But then if they say oh and they follow it up with like some type of like justification or tell you like something that you should be doing to prevent that from happening, that's a really easy way to tell if a person has empathy, if a man has empathy or not. I know if the rapture is coming, I can't wait. I'm tired. Also, I have a really good update on my scoliosis. Y'all, I am healing. I really am healing. It's probably a combination of me not having to scan and then also like me just like the stressors being gone. But They took me down from 3 days to 2 days. And then I already knew that walking into the office today, like, I just knew that I wasn't going to need an adjustment. Like, I could just tell. Like, I could tell that I'm able to hold the adjustment long now, despite all the crazy stuff I've been doing with my back at the pole studio. And so when I went in today for them to adjust me, he was like, he cracked me a tiny little bit, like a tiny little bit in like my mid back, a little bit. And he was like, you're really like looking good. He was like, I don't really have anything to adjust. Like the adjustment was done in literally 2 minutes. So I'm really happy. I'm really feeling good. I really appreciate you guys supporting me. I do. I really, really appreciate you guys supporting me. Um, and also, if there's any other topics that you all want me to touch on, um, please feel free to let me know. Because I have more time, I probably will I'll start making some more reaction content. It probably won't be in the form of a live stream. Those will probably just be upload onlys. Um, but yeah. The thing about it is that content for women reacting in like how Public Offender does it, it just doesn't cross over well. Um, the algorithm tends to reward men that make reaction content. That's like the reason why a lot of men tend to make it. Um, because it just rewards them naturally. And also, I feel like men constantly need a source of inspiration to be able to talk about something. No diss, no diss, but men tend to like, they have to have like a source to be able to talk about something. And honestly, my channel like didn't do all that well when I was like doing a lot of reaction content. But I also suck at reacting to things because I'm so like ADHD and I want to react to every sentence. Can we talk about how men are born predators? Yeah, we can. Let me write it down. I stay ready. I keep a little notepad here and everything ready for your suggestion. Oh, I also want to do one about how men are not your friends. I jimmied the AC good this morning. The AC's still on. I jimmied it good today because y'all, I've been jimmying this AC. I literally been jimmying this AC because it's the drain. It's the drainage system. That's the reason why my AC's been acting up. It's the drainage system. It's tripping the switch. It's tripping the switch. So then um the water, like the drain is clogged, and so it's not able to drain to signal to like the thermostat to like keep reaching the thermostat temperature because the drain is clogged. So if this AC guy comes and says anything more than that and like tries to make it seem like, I'm just gonna call the person that owns the building. Can you talk about friendship with homosexual males? Um, I'll write it down. I definitely want to talk about like more like preparation things with like your finances and things like that, because that's another reason why like I'm not owning anything. I want to have the freedom to leave. But I did see something about a video saying how, like, there's, like, this bill, and if the law passes the bill, like, they're, like, not gonna allow passports anymore or something like that. And my thing about it is that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work for you to not be able to have a passport because, okay, they're already trying to pass a bill for it to cost $10,000 for someone to get a visa, okay? So they want people from other countries, they're talking about having them be charged $10,000 to get a visa to come here. If you don't let the people that live here out, like, to even go on vacation or anything like that, how are you going to have money for your tourism economy? How are you going to have any money for your tourism economy? Because everyone knows that America is literally the foundation for tourism. Everybody freaking knows that. So if you don't allow, like, passports to be valid or for people to be able to use their passport to leave the country, where's the money going to come from tourism? If you're letting nobody in essentially, and then you're not letting anybody out, like, and the thing about it is that, like, they're quickly seeing how fast they're losing money when they do stuff like that. Disney has literally lost like they lost $4 million overnight because of what they're doing, because of what they did with Jimmy Kimmel. Mhm. Exactly. Men think they are the center of the universe. Yep. We can always walk, drive to Mexico, and get out of the country that way. True. True. Yeah, I think they're just getting desperate because that little situation, well, I don't want to call it little, but the situation that happened um when that person was talking, I don't think that they got the outcome that they wanted. Deep dive into poly relationships and how to create your dream life are potential topics to talk about. I'm writing them down. I don't know nothing about poly relationships. You wanna know what I call a poly relationship for a woman? Roster dating. Poly relationships for women is just roster dating. Oh, it's 100K that they are discussing charge. Like, that's crazy. 100K, like, that's insane. It's really easy. You just go to the post office. You just go to the post office and you just fill out your form, give it back to them, and, like, usually you can get your passport pretty quick. Usually you can get it in, like, under 6 weeks. Keyboard warriors. The chronically online. Like, as soon as I hear a guy talking about some women want a man that's 6 foot, makes six figures, and has a 6-inch dingling, I'm like, no, that's what men want. That's what a man wants from another man. And that's what a man wants to be. That's what a man wants to be. I'm like, whenever I hear that, I'm like, you're chronically online. You're chronically online. You're not talking to women. Okay. Corn obsessed men. That's a good one. Yeah, I feel like an easy way for you to tell if a man is chronically online is if he starts that triple six talk. Like you're not talking to women for real. There was one guy that I was it was actually the guy from back home that I would sleep with whenever I would go back home, like once every 3, 4 months. It wouldn't even be regularly like that. It would be quarterly. I slept with him quarterly. Um, he's short. He is. He's short because I actually do like short men because I'm so short. I'm only 5'1", so there's no need for me to be with someone 6 foot. It's just kind of silly for me. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't chase. Yeah, I don't chase or whatever." And I said, so you're afraid of being rejected? That's like, let's go deeper. Like, let's go deeper than I don't chase. I said, you're afraid of being rejected, huh? He said, yeah, I actually am afraid of being rejected because he's like, I know that my height is like an issue or whatever. And essentially, he brought up like that whole talking point of like, you being 6 foot or whatever. But I also wanted to tell him like, dude, you're also corny. Okay? Like you're also corny. Like one time he was the one that sent the stuffed. Remember? He was the one that sent the picture of the roll and said this is how you're going to be stuffed. You know what I'm saying? He's also I was talking about like games or whatever, like cute like little games that you could do that we could like do or whatever. And I was like, yeah, like we could do like food games or whatever. And like we could like I could blindfold you and I could feed you food and you could guess what the food was. And he was like, sounds fun. Let me go lay down some tarp. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like, it's not your height. It's not your height, dude. Like it probably is your height to a degree, but like you're corny too. And when he would text me, he would always put like an exclamation point. Like he would always put exclamation points behind everything. And I'm like, dude, I know you're not this excited to talk to me. I know you're not this excited, but in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, you're corny too. I didn't want to say it. I did not want to say it, but I'm like, dude, I mean, your height, yeah, that's definitely an obstacle, but like, you're corny. Like, what are you talking about? Let me lay down some tarp. Like, who says that? Like, stay focused. Stay freaking focused. Well, this technician is actually on his way, believe it or not. So I'm gonna get off here. He's like 5'6", 5'6", 5'7". He would always kill the mood via text too. I'm like, dude, I would tell him too. I would text him too. I'd be like, you're killing the mood. Like, you're not, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I'll get on again later, but I'm going to get off of here so I can get my place a little bit prepared for this person to come. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll definitely be back on tomorrow. I'll definitely be back on tomorrow with another live stream. And I might make some short form content. I might make some short form content to upload later. Cringe farming. But yeah, um, thanks for tuning in today. Sorry that this live was a little bit short, but I'll be back tomorrow for sure. So I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.